do this little interview with me because I think we connected through the Black Witchcraft class, which is one of my favorite. I love that group. One of my favorite classes. I love Ayalosa Olaomi. Like, that helped me find myself so much. So I think that's how we connected via Facebook. But I love like your lives, your business, things that you talk about, just the energy that you have. And I was like, yo, she would be really, really dope to have on our platform. So, you know, the Natural Woman viewers can check out your website and some of the things that you offer, because a lot of the information that you have, a lot of women are into right now. And so I'm excited to have you on here. So if you could take some time and just introduce yourself to our platform and what it is exactly you do.
Okay, well, I go by Oshanike, which is a name that was given to me by Yelosha. And I own Glam Alchemy, which is a business and spiritual service catered toward women. And our goal is to help women find themselves, find their inner power, to emphasize the divine feminine. And what we do is I do spiritual services for women. I'm also an astrologer and herbalist. So I provide astrological advice and readings, and I also provide herbal advice for women to help their bodies, to help their life, everything. But I also, like I said, I also offer spiritual services for women who feel stuck, who want to manifest certain realities that they may have some trouble doing on their own. So I assist women with that. I also have meditations on my website to help people and women to shift their vibrations higher and to shift their mindset.
Okay. So that's like everything she just mentioned is everything that I love. Like when I went to your website, I was like, oh my gosh. It's like I need everything that's on here. Especially some of the spells and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was really, really dope. So I'm excited to get into this conversation with you. Hold on, let me pull up my next question. So let's talk about what inspires you to get on this path.
Oh my. So I grew up Southern Baptist. My mom's side of the family is from Mississippi. My dad's side is from New Orleans. So I have a very religious Southern background.
Okay.
And when I got to be about 23, shortly after I finished college, I was just having, I wasn't really feeling fulfilled in the church. I was very active in the church. I was a minister at church. I just really didn't feel fulfilled. I felt like there was more that I wasn't really getting.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, what happened, funny story, I decided to do some research on Christianity because I wanted to defend myself, I guess, against people who questioned my path as a Christian. And I ended up finding a lot of things that refuted
Oh wow.
Christianity. And I was like, hold up. Around that same time, I was seeing somebody, and his cousin actually brought over the Hidden Colors documentary. I had never seen it.
Okay.
And I actually used to follow the director. I had some of his books, some of his dating books.
Right.
So I don't know how I missed that he came out with this documentary about Black history and about religion. Anyways, I watched it and I remember trying to research some of those things to be like, oh, I know he's not. I can't believe he said this stuff about the letter J not being, here only for 400 years and all this stuff. Anyways, research and I couldn't refute anything he was saying. And then I ended up moving and I got connected with a Sangoma, which is a priestess in the Zulu tradition, and she taught me about ancestral reverence, and that's really where my path started. Was working with the ancestors, and then of course working with Yolosha with Black Witchcraft and learning about the divinity of the Black woman, and it really empowered me, and I realized how much of my power had been kept from me, and also that I had been given away. Um, as a Black woman and in the church, like a lot of, in church, you give away a lot of free servitude in church. That
Right.
I feel like the people in charge feed off of. I mean, because they're getting ultimately free labor from you when you are ushering, teaching, dancing, participating in that realm. And so I just began doing a lot of spiritual work on myself. Like, so with spell work, I know a lot of people, they think of like, oh, you're casting spells on people and you're with the majority of the spiritual work, if you want to call them spells, rituals, whatever, that I have done have been to help myself. So I started off doing self-esteem rituals, heart chakra rituals, mental clarity rituals, money rituals, of course, to make my money, get better jobs, and things like that. And as I started to manifest things, I realized, like, wow, I really am powerful. I really do have the ability to create anything that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And once I realized that, I would connect with other women who would be like, how did you do that? And teach me. And so I started to teach classes, and I started an astrology group that's primarily a Black astrology group on Facebook. It's called Astrology for the African Soul, and African is with a K.
Okay.
And so I started that group, and I started to teach people how they could pay attention to their life cycles through astrology, how they could manifest things with herbs, manifest things with just the power of their mind. And so that's pretty much how my path started off. Me doing research and then finding out that the things that I had been believing were actually keeping me powerless and not giving me the full story of some of the things that I was reading in the Bible and things of that nature. So that's pretty much how that started. And like I said, it seems like the ancestors just brought people into my life that helped me facilitate my growth and learn more about my spiritual path and myself.
Okay. Because you couldn't hear me at first.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Okay, so I'll just make sure.
Okay.
Right, he had a little coughing spell. I had to get off camera real quick.
Oh, poor baby.
I know this came out of nowhere, and we just stay in the house. So I'm like, what in the heck? I got in our house. Okay. So I love how you explained that, how you got on this path. I know for me, when I started, I was heavily in the church. I was Presbyterian. I was like grooming to be like a preacher. Like that was my thing. I was gonna take it because anything dealing with spirituality, I'm the type of person that I am. My spirit pulls towards it. But it got to a point where church was not feeding my spirit, and things wasn't adding up. And I actually got to the point once I started doing research, I started asking my pastor questions, and this dude would ignore me, like in front of everybody. And so that kind of like opened me up. And then it was my brother. He came to my house, and this was back in like 2008. He came to my house with the movie Zeitgeist. So that was like my first conscious film.
I remember watching that when I was like coming out, like probably like 3 or 4 months after I stopped attending church regularly and started to get into other spirit, really just meditation and ancestral reverence. I came across that guys, and I had always kind of been in astrology.
Right.
Not I have because I've gotten formal training now, but I knew and understood it, and I liked it, and I would read my horoscope and look at my chart.
Mm-hmm.
But when I watch Zeitgeist and they break down the astrology and the what is the word? How they're referencing that in the Bible, I was like, hold up. Okay, I'm like, it makes more sense now, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's super cool. And so like that was my awakening, and it was like everything else after that. So I love how when people share those stories of what got them through. So let me ask you, because you mentioned about your awakening, did you go through a period of anger of feeling like you were betrayed because you were taught this one thing and then learning like, oh crap, this is a lie. Like a lot of people get caught up in anger, and that anger makes them rebel against all kinds of systems, and they're just out there being a loner. And then you kind of, some people could get stuck, and then some people can find a way out and kind of start building on that spirituality piece. Did you have any issues or challenges with that process?
I feel like initially I had grief.
Okay.
I felt sad. I was just like, how could this be? Like, this is all I've ever known. But then it's like I had to look at my surroundings. I was like, most people I know, even though they may have some level of success, like maybe they own a home, maybe they have a decent job, to me, they weren't really free. And so I had to kind of look at that. I was like, okay, most of my friends or my peers, my people in my community that are highly religious, they are stuck at a certain level.
Right.
And then when certain things happen to them, and I'll use an example because we're talking about, because my business is geared toward women, and something I see a lot is because I know the church is highly patriarchal.
Right.
And I noticed that when women go through divorces, it's like their lives are over because they're no longer attached to a male. And I used to confuse me because I would be like, I thought, all of your power and all of your happiness came from Jesus, came from God. Why are you so sad that this person left your life? Why isn't that maybe a time to rejoice that maybe that relationship was no longer serving you? But I would see time and time again women would get divorces or they would separate from their children's fathers and they would just stumble into like, oh, my life is over.
Right.
Even though they have healthy children, they're healthy, they still have somewhere to live. I'm just like, I'm not understanding all this. And so I realized that the mindset, I think I had some point of grief where I realized that the mindset had really kept me from really living a full life. Because I was so focused on one of the big things that I was really focused on was getting married. And I just felt so, I spent a lot of time while I was in church, I felt so less than because I didn't have a spouse, you know? Um, I felt, and so I let that stop me from doing a lot of things that I wanted to do because I felt that I couldn't really get past certain levels because I didn't have a man attached to me. So once I came out of that, I had a period of grief because I felt like, wow, like I've wasted so much time, so much of my energy because I didn't fit this box that other people wanted me to fit, and also because I was a single mother at the time. I felt angry, or I guess I felt some level of anger that I had harbored so much shame from that. When I remember I had this epiphany that the mother Mary that we talk about in the Bible, had Joseph decided, oh, he's married to God, I'm out. They would have probably killed this woman, or she would have been a social outcast because she would have been a single mother.
Right.
So I kind of had this epiphany, like, what have I been like? The stuff I've been taught has confused me so much that I've kind of cheapened myself because I didn't fit a certain standard that church or Christianity had for me. I definitely felt sadness, and then I think I had a period of anger, and then there was like a period of empowerment, and then there was a period of kind of feeling lost. So I was like, well, how do I pray? And like, how does that work? Like, what do I do? And really around that time, I was beginning the path of becoming a doula, and I connected with another doula who was African centered, and she introduced me to the Sangoma, and she just happened to be having an ancestral reverence class at an African centered church in Fort Worth, Texas, where I was living at the time.
Okay.
And so that's when I started going to that class, and that was kind of really my beginning of learning about African spiritual traditions and realizing that, you know, God, or the overall being still exists, but it doesn't have to go through Jesus or the Mother Mary or a particular saint. Because my dad is Catholic, so I had that piece, and my mom is
Okay.
Catholic, so I kind of had both of them.
Oh, okay. That's a funny dynamic.
Indoctrination, okay.
Right.
But I started to, she taught us other ways to pray and how to honor the ancestors, and that you could still go to God, of course, if you, felt like that was necessary. And I was able to, at that point, I kind of became more rooted. But I did go through like those different phases of like, what am I doing? Is this wrong? And I still had, I kind of did have a level of guilt because some of my Christian friends would be like, what you talking about? And I didn't want to come to church with them anymore. So there was like that. So I did. There was guilt and there was anger and like a little confusion. But then, like I said, as I connected to somebody that had been practicing the tradition, it started to make more sense to me.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Chewing gum. So, Glam Alchemy. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Okay.
What can people say? I'm new to the spiritual movement and I go to glamalchemy.com. What am I going to find and how is it going to help me?
So, as I said before, I have meditations which will help. They are binaural beat meditations.
Mm-hmm.
And binaural beats, they help to shift your brain waves. So all of our brains process things on waves, on frequencies. And so these frequencies have been proven to assist with shifting your, so if you are on a very low vibrational state or low frequency, you may be depressed, you may be sad. As you raise that frequency, you will get feelings of love, feelings of clarity, be able to sleep better. And so I have meditations for that. Like I actually have a beauty sleep meditation for people who have a
Okay.
hard time sleeping to help to shift your mindset. And any law of attraction or mental there's the what do we call them? They're not mental health. They're mental um people who understand neurological experts will tell you that if you keep doing something repetitively, it will become a habit for you.
Yeah.
Do something over and over, it will begin to manifest for you. So as you begin to listen to those meditations repetitively, it helps to shift your mindset into, okay, it's time to go to sleep now. When you start to hear the raindrops in the meditation. Also, I have rituals in which I will, use my personal energy as well as the other person's energy to create the desire that they want. So one of the examples I have are like love rituals. If someone wants to bring a person into their life, and I actually just checked in with a client who did one with me about 3 months ago,
Okay.
and her partner are doing great. She was a widower at the time before we started, and she was like, "Okay, I think I'm ready to date again. I want love again." And she's been single, been living as a widow for probably about 5 or 6 years. And so she was ready to, take on a new partner and find love again. And she told me that her and her partner are doing great. She's in love, he's in love, she's happy. So that made me feel great. Um, and she was very specific in her asking. So I made sure I included everything that she wanted. Um, I also have meditation. I mean, not meditations, rituals for money, rituals for family peace. I also have classes. One of the classes that I recently taught was working with the angelic realm. So there are angels in our universe that want to assist us. That is actually what angels are here for, are to assist the humans. God does help us, but God also put in place angels to assist us. So I have an angelic realm class to teach how to work with the angels. Let's see what else. I also have a class. I do teach classes on astrology as well, but I also have a class on how to use your personal astrology to learn what manifestation methods are best for you. So I use myself as an example. I'm a Scorpio, so my sign actually rules magicianship, spell casting, all of that kind of stuff. We're pretty good at manifesting. And since we're a water sign, we work really well with water. So taking spiritual baths, collecting rainwater, stormwater, doing the 2-cup method, which is a method where you take water from one cup to another, and have those cups labeled with what your current reality is versus what the reality that you want to move into. You pour that water from the reality that you currently have into the new cup and you drink it. Those methods, not to say they don't work for everybody, but they work best for people who have a lot of water energy, which I have. And so I just taught a class on that, so how you can use the elements in your chart to manifest, to find methods that are easier to manifest for you. So there's classes, there's meditations, there's rituals. I also have, because again, I'm a water sign and I love all things water. I also have enchanted makeup brushes that have been enchanted with glamour energy to help you feel more confident and attract others to you as well. And they're actually makeup brushes that look like mermaid tails on the bottom. They're really cute. So I have that as a product that I sell also. I also seasonally, or when I feel moved to, I have a natural birth control tincture that I sell. It's called Lady Nectar, and it comes from Queen Anne's lace. It's medically, they've actually done an herbal study on Queen Anne's lace for contraception. So people are like, "Are you sure this works?" I know it works because my children are spaced out exactly how I want them spaced out. But there are herbal studies that have been done on this particular herb or flower on its efficacy with stopping implantation, which is essentially what happens when someone gets pregnant. So I have that, and then also, like I said, people contact me for herbal remedies all of the time. So I do have a contact us based on my page, where if you're like, hey, you know, I want to stop smoking, what herbs can I take to help me cigarettes? I also do personal consultations for things like that as
well. That's really powerful. And again, I just want to apologize to our viewers and to you, my dear, because I was not expecting my baby to be sick. And I know this is the Natural Woman platform, and one thing being a natural woman is about being a mommy, but
it doesn't bother me. You know, I used to be the kids, all that's crying, breastfeeding.
So I'm nursing him right now. So if y'all see my boo, please forgive me, but that's the only way to get him quiet. Yeah. So that's powerful what you do, and I kind of want to touch on, especially now with all this fear, because we kind of talked about this a little bit before we started streaming, with this fear with the coronavirus and everybody panicking, they're hoarding, it's chaos. You know, how important is it for people to know how to protect and heal? Because I feel like you don't have to succumb to a reality that's trying to be pushed on us. You know, there are ways that we can protect ourselves through herbs and through magic. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I know it's a message out there for people.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, the coronavirus. Oh my gosh. I just wish people would understand that this disease or virus, I'll say alleged virus, did not really, it was being discussed last year. There were some outbreaks last year. So this isn't like a new thing. I just believe that it's been introduced to the United States. So that's why people here are freaking out. But again, I'll say this. This is one reason why herbalists and healers, and during the beginning of fall season and the beginning of winter season, we already prep for this. Like we prep for like the flu, because that's like an annual thing, which has actually killed more people than coronavirus, by the way. People are actually being reported getting over the coronavirus. So it's not like people are just dropping like flies. I don't know where people are getting that from, but there are people who are getting it and recovering from it. But this is why herbalists, healers, at the beginning of fall and winter seasons, we make fire cider. we make elderberry syrup. We prep herbs. I mean, during spring and summer, we're growing herbs and things like that in order to prep for the winter. So one of the main things I think when people are fearful is because they didn't plan. They didn't expect these type of things to happen, but you should always be in a preparatory phase. Also, fear is associated with the root chakra. And if you are fearful of anything, that means that you're not grounded in the earth. You're not grounded with your ancestors. You're not grounded with this planet. And that means that you've been flying high up here instead of being rooted in your chakras.
Mhm.
So, one of the things you could do to eradicate the fear is to do root chakra meditations, to envision or go outside and sit on the ground or sit on the ground and envision roots coming down from your body deep into the center of the earth and ground yourself. Me, I'm not afraid again because I just know that I'm good. Like I just don't have anything to be worried about. I know that me and my children are covered. So I don't feel anything to be worried about or fearful about. Also, when you're watching the news or partaking in news outlets via the internet even, you are feeding into that energy. And when you become fearful, that actually lowers your immune system. So one of the best things that you could do to not fall into this energy of fear, sure you can take some elderberry syrup, sure you can take some vitamin C, sure you can take some probiotics, but it would be to do things that make you happy. So if you are stuck at home, maybe put on some music and dance, maybe watch a funny movie or something like that that will help raise your vibration. But the more energy you give to it, the more you're inviting that into your life. So I'll give another example. Like I personally don't watch scary movies because I
Mhm.
don't like fear energy. I don't really
Right.
see what the excitement is about being afraid. Like I
Mhm.
don't like being afraid. I like being happy. I like feeling secure. So I don't. Even though I was born the day before Halloween, so that's scary movies, Halloween, all that kind of the fear around Halloween. I look at it as an ancestral time, but a lot
Mhm.
of people look at it as like fear and things of that nature. I don't get involved in that like whatsoever. Like I'll participate in Dia de los Muertos because it's an honoring holiday. I celebrate my birthday, but I don't get with anything that involves fear.
Right.
So really, it may sound counterintuitive, but to actually ignore it is actually the best thing that you could do or that anyone could do versus feeding into that energy. If you sit up and you watch the news and you let them keep telling you, "Oh, there's more cases in Ohio," and there's you are going to get afraid. You're going to become nervous. You're going to become concerned. Versus there could be a book you need to be writing. There could be
Mm.
might need to be meditating. You might need to be getting
Maybe.
some sleep. Maybe your job laid you off. You could use this time to get rest, which is one of the things that actually helps build your immune system. Not getting enough sleep actually deteriorates your immune system and all of your organs, to be honest. So I say, I mean, I hear it on the news or I hear people talking. I don't really watch the news, but I hear people talking about it on social media and things of that nature. But as has been discussed in a lot of black circles on social media, staying clean, washing your hands, um, eating things that have probiotics and have vitamin C are really the best things that you can do for yourself and just
Mhm.
focus on yourself and envision yourself being healthy and there's really nothing for you to worry about. I mean, during the Great Depression, which we were actually we're in the same astrological cycle as we were in when the Great Depression happened, and we are seeing a stock market crash. I think the Dow has gone down the lowest it's ever been, like
Right.
in the Great
Mhm.
Depression. There were many millionaires made during that time. So focusing on investing and where to put your money right now, maybe starting a business where you make your own hand sanitizer. It's just I just again I've Glam Alchemy. So I always try to look at how can we turn this into a positive thing. That's what alchemy means.
Right.
Turn lead into gold. How do we turn something bad into good? So if you're afraid of this, maybe this is a good time to learn about herbs, to learn about those things and make your own hand sanitizer or make your own soap or start a if you have extra rooms in your house, have well, my house is clean, my house is safe, people can stay here, and maybe the people who are terrified can come spend their money with you. and live in your house
Right.
for a few weeks or whatever. So I look at it as an opportunity to make money and to find the positive of it. Like if you're at home with your children, that's a positive.
Right.
Time with them. So I always come from an alchemist perspective. So I look at find a way to make this positive. If like I said, if you have time off of work, maybe start working on your business so that you don't have to go back to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's powerful information, everybody, because if you focus on the television, that's all they're pushing out there for you to be afraid. And we don't have to come to fear. Like that's like the news formula. That's why I don't watch the news, because the formula for the news is to make you afraid of yourself, afraid of the people around you, afraid of the food, afraid of the land, afraid of some disease that's gonna come and get you. And I did an interview with this she's a I think Karis Melina Brown is her YouTube name, but she mentioned that things that we watch on television aren't necessarily real until we give it realness in our own 3D reality. So when we're saying like kind of ignore the coronavirus, we're not saying don't act like it doesn't exist, like it's not there. It's there, but it doesn't have to be a part of what you are creating for yourself.
Right. It doesn't have to be a focal point.
Exactly.
Yeah, what you focus on grows. So if you're like, oh, there's a coronavirus out here, but I'm gonna steam this broccoli. Focus on the broccoli. Like you don't have to give that energy.
Right, because as long as like we already should have been taking, like you said, preparing elderberry, your sea moss, already should have been doing that. Exactly. So it ain't like you doing that to keep from it, but there is like we can create something different. And I thought that was really interesting that you mentioned the stock market. Well, actually, this astrological time period is similar to the 1920s.
Right.
I think it's super interesting. And investing in the stock market is probably smart right now. And everybody's saying, oh, it's dumb to put your money in the stock market right now because everything's going so low. Yeah. But I'm like, that's what we want.
When it goes back up, I mean,
it's going to go back up.
Yeah.
It's going to go back up. So, like, those are the things that we should take the time to think about, making positives into negatives, not being selfish. Mm-hmm. You know, how some people can be like, oh, I'm going to make sure mine, but we got to make sure we look out for everybody else. And then, too, the whole vaccination thing, which is probably about to happen. I think the good thing about the situation is that it's pushing us as people of color to be able to start educating our own. Like homeschool groups are going up like crazy, which is a great thing because I think that's going to put us down a path where we can finally have our own institutions and, things of that nature. And I think when things like this happen, it's important to, well, like you said, people recognizing the need and fulfilling that. And that what helps keep society moving on the good. So yes, people focus on the positives.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. It's Friday the 13th.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I've just really enjoyed it's so interesting, people, just listening to some of the things that she talks about. And if you go to her website, like there's so many interesting items. You'll really have fun. I love the mirrors. Like I'm into mirror magic. People look at me crazy, but I'm like, nah, mirror magic is the truth. It really works. And some people get afraid when you get into mirror magic. But I know that's one of the reasons why you sell those mirrors for that particular thing. Somebody may look like, what do I need a mirror for? Like it's levels to this.
Oh yes. This. And then some people I've noticed some women it's so hard for them to even look in the mirror and to say, I love you. Like just that which is powerful by itself.
Right.
There are some women who are afraid to do that on their own because, they have self-love issues, self-esteem issues. But if you literally do that for 30 days, 33 days, I like 33, your life could literally change. And it's just, most people have mirrors in their house. But I'll say this, the fact that some people, or even if you feel fearful of doing that, you should ask yourself why that is scary for you. Because you'll brush your teeth in the mirror, you'll comb your hair in the mirror, you'll make sure your shirt looks right in the mirror, you got all your buttons. Why can't you tell yourself I love you? Why can't you tell yourself I'm healthy? Why can't you tell yourself I'm a millionaire, I'm successful? Why does that evoke fear when it's coming from you? So yeah, the mirror stuff is deep. Very deep.
It really is. It really is. It's really good. So tell us again, where can we learn more information? Where can we follow you? I know you got your social media pages, your Instagram, and then we didn't even talk about your the modeling thing you're doing. I didn't even mention that. I peeped a lot of your pictures. They're really beautiful. So tell us how we can support you, follow you, and be in the know of what you got going on.
So my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Bliss Health. I believe it's still, I'll have to go check, but it's youtube.com/Bliss Health. I started off talking about health topics, and then I kind of transformed into alchemy topics. My website is glamalchemy.com. My Instagram is prettiest_life. And then my model Instagram, I have all of my model photos. I started modeling in California about a year and a half ago. About a year and a half, 2 years ago. Is Lens Love Me. So like the camera lens, LENS Love Me. And that's where I post all of my modeling photos. So I do model and I also perform. I'm getting into my dance career as well. I do that on the side. It's kind of like my outlet, and I enjoy doing that work. I'm trying to think of what else do I have. I don't have Twitter, but yes, YouTube. And then my Facebook is Mahadevi Oshaniki, and most people can find Oshaniki. You can find me on that page usually. But if you go to the Glam Alchemy Facebook page, I post on there, and I can link you with my page if you have trouble finding it that way. And then I am working on a Glam Alchemy rituals book for women, so they can get more into beauty rituals that will help them on a spiritual and a physical level. Mirror magic is actually one of the topics for sure.
Yes. See, now I'm gonna have to bring you on again so we can have like a defined topic, because you talk about and you have so much information that we could build on a lot of different topics, especially when it comes to beauty rituals and why beauty is so important and is a powerful tool for women.
Yeah.
I have said this for the longest, and this is what helped me to really have an awakening with the natural woman movement, is with this system of patriarchy. They want to make us believe that everything feminine, everything beautiful, everything pretty is like this weak, soft thing, but it's really power in our beauty. It's power in our femininity, and it's not the type of power that we're used to when you see men, but it's a whole different level to this thing. So
yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I know the fact that you're writing a book on beauty rituals and things of that nature, you understand that process and how important it is for other women to learn how to tap into the power of their beauty.
Yes, totally. I mean, even if you look at it from a magical perspective, if you want to influence somebody, they call it casting a glamour. Because you're casting a persona or a certain energy to make people be enchanted by you.
Right.
And so there's that.
Right. And I tell people all the time, Beyonce do this stuff, Nicki Minaj do this stuff. Like, I have seen evidence.
Oh yeah.
These types of things. So it is not like this is some new stuff we're talking about. This is stuff that, once you understand and know how to apply it, you can transform your entire entire life, y'all.
Yes.
Trust. So make sure y'all check out glamalchemy.com. Go get some of that goodness over there. I want to thank you so much. And it's Onishi. Wait, hold on. Let me take it off. Oshanike. Okay. Oshanike. Thank you so much for just being a part of this conversation. Thank you so much for your patience with my little baby crying. He's finally asleep. So everything is good, but I do wish you a happy Friday. Thank you for being on here, and I definitely would love to invite you on for another conversation if you're open to it, because it's levels to the conversations that you can have when it comes to just everything, when it comes to that divine feminine and spirituality. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. Make sure you download the Natural Woman Magazine app. We are excited. We are actually relaunching today, y'all. We are relaunching. So make sure you download the app, subscribe to our newsletter. And I'm excited about the things to come. So until next time, I'm about to end this broadcast, y'all. Make sure you visit us. Peace out. I got to go put my baby to sleep now. Or lay him down because he done slobbered my whole leg up. But until next time, y'all. Peace.